Hello everyone, welcome back to the English Web. It's been ages, right, since we all must have written a handwritten letter. It's in today's day and age. I understand with the invention of email and other means of communicating, the need to write a letter has reduced manifold. So yeah, but today I am going to focus on how to write a formal letter. Now, when you write an email, you don't need to write the sender's address and the receiver's address as well as the subject. It is all there, okay? So you have the standard format. So you just have to fill in the details, again the subject, and you just have to punch in the email address, and then you have to write the content. But occasionally that you may want to write a formal letter, or if you are in a school or in a college or working, you may have to submit a handwritten letter, and that those are formal letters. So how do you go about writing a formal letter? Today in my video I shall be focusing on how to write a formal letter. Now I shall be taking the case of writing a letter to your boss when you have to take a week's leave. Okay, so that becomes a formal letter. A letter, anything that has to do with writing to someone in a position of authority, makes it a formal letter. So let's get started. The first thing that we have to do when you write a formal letter is write your own address. So you as a sender need to write your address. So for example, if I am writing to my boss because I am going on a leave, what I shall actually do is write my own address over here. So for example, 123 XYZ, comma, then I have to write the whole address, and this is where it ends. Now, when I end my address, I need to follow it up with the date. So if today's date is, for example, 25th February, this is how I'm going to write it. Or another way of writing your date is, you just have to write this. So that takes care of your address. Then you have to leave a line and write the receiver's address. Now if you are writing to your boss who works in your office, who sits in your office, what you have to do is write to, and you have to write, you have to mention the receiver's address. Now if it's say the CEO of a certain company that you are writing to, you would write this: CEO, comma, the name of the company. So it you know that the person who receives the email, the letter, would know that the letter is addressed for him. So this is the thing, and then you have to write his address, and then once you are done writing his address, you have to write subject. Now what is the subject? Like I said, you are taking a leave for a week from work. So you have to write this: application to seek leave from work. Okay, that takes care of your subject. Now why do you have subject? You always want the reader to understand. If the person does not have enough time, the person will just look at the subject and will get a gist about what you're trying to say. Now ideally, when you're writing to someone above you, you expect that person to not have a lot of time all the time. So what subject does is it summarizes your purpose of writing a letter. So once you're done writing the subject, you leave one line and then start with the actual letter. Now the first thing that you would write, of course, please remember that earlier while writing a formal letter, the sender's address would be aligned to the right, but no, now everything is aligned to the left. So make sure it is all to the left of the page. Everything is aligned to the left of the page. So yeah, moving on, we have to write to our boss. What do you write? You cannot, ideally you must refrain from using words like dear. Dear is used in a very informal context. So what do? You write respected. Respected sir, ma'am. It's very important that you know who you are writing to. If you are not sure that the person you may be writing to, now in this case you may be knowing if your boss is a male or a female, but in cases when you don't know, you have to verify before writing what you are. So if it's a sir, you mention only sir. If it's a ma'am, then you only mention ma'am. Please verify, okay, before you ever write something like this. It's very important when you're writing a formal letter to know who you are writing to and whether that person is a male or a female. So once you're done writing this, you will start with your actual email, with your actual letter. I'm just saying email all the time. So your actual formal letter is ideally divided into 3 paragraphs. Now why that happens? Now the first paragraph is to introduce what you are trying to say. So you introduce yourself, that is about it. So your introduction should not exceed say 3 lines at the most. So once you're done writing your introduction, you start with the the main reason as to why you're writing the letter, and then you come up with the conclusion. So ideally that comes to 3 paragraphs. But if you want to express some more views or opinions about a certain thing, I mean, depending on the kind of a topic that you are writing on, you may want to divide your whole letter into 4 paragraphs. That is also fine, but introduction and conclusion are mandatory. So you start with writing the introduction. Now when you're writing your introduction, it's always important to introduce yourself. Respected sir, I, Bageshree Mehta, from this company, mention the name of your company, am writing this letter to you with regard to seeking a permission for a week's leave from work. So that sums up my introduction. So you have to introduce yourself and the topic. Once you are done with this, you come to the main paragraph. You have to talk about why you have to take a leave. So you have to state that so you can start your second paragraph by writing that I'm seeking a leave for a week because I have my sibling's wedding to attend. I have a lot of commitments that I need to fulfill before the wedding, because of which I shall be needing a week's leave. You have to summarize all those reasons in the main paragraph, which is the body. So once you are done, state the purpose. Now ideally your body should not exceed 5 to 6 lines. So ideally you have to keep it short. You are writing a formal letter. You do not have to go into details. You have to be as precise as possible. So once you're done stating the purpose, you have to conclude. Now how do you conclude? You do not say that I hope you have a good time, or you're not writing to a friend, or you cannot say that I hope to see you soon. What do you write? You expect to get a favorable answer or a reply, or if you are expecting a favor, or if you are expecting something in return, then you have to say I hope I get that at the earliest. So I hope my request is granted and I am given a week's leave for the wedding or whatever the purpose is. So you conclude by saying that, and you thank the person before you conclude. So once you are done, now what do you write in your conclusion bit? You have to express hope for what you request. If it's for if you're taking a leave to be by someone's side in the hospital, then you have to express that I wish to get a leave for this purpose, so that and you have to also assure that you shall be back to work with full vigor, and you shall cover up for all that you've missed out on. So once you're done concluding, you have to so since there is no space over here, I shall tell you how you have to conclude. Now if it's a boss, you would always wish to write yours faithfully. But in some cases, if you feel that you are writing to someone above you, but still you don't want to sound too formal, then you can also use best regards. comma followed by your name. So that is ideally how you write a formal letter. Now, even when you're writing, you're using a salutation, you also, you would not want to use to all the time. Sorry, not this. You would not want to use respected sir if you don't want to sound formal. So if you're not using yours faithfully, what you can do over here is you can use hello. It is not too formal and nor is it too informal. So I hope that takes care of how to write a formal letter. You write your address, you write the receiver's address, you write the subject, then you write the salutation, mention the salutation, you divide the email into 3 paragraphs, and then you follow it up with this last bit. So I hope that takes care of your need to write a formal letter. This is basically how you write a formal letter. And if there are any queries that you all have, please feel free to comment in the comment section below. I shall always reply to your questions. So now it's time for today's word. Today's word is momentary. What does momentary mean? Something that lasts for a very short period of time. So drinking and partying are momentary pleasures, which means that they are short-lived. They don't last for a very long time. Or I had a momentary lapse, so I made a mistake. It was something that happened momentarily. It was it was a short-lived mistake. It happened in the moment. It was not intended to happen. So something that happens, that is something that is done with the aim to be short-term, or something that is short-lived, is momentary. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I shall be back very soon with another video. And please do not forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed watching this. And please shower me with all your love, and do comment in the comment section below. Please share and subscribe to my channel, The English Web. I shall see you guys very soon. Thank you.